Well, hey there, Tanisha. How are you doing today?
Hi, LaRochelle. I'm wonderful. Happy to be on the call with you.
Yeah, same here. I'm really excited to talk about our topic today. We're going to be covering how bids are won. I know we both got some experience in uh, bidding for contracts, whether they're for the state, for city, or the county as well. We'll maybe eventually talk a little bit more about federal contracting, but
Right.
your background and research is in that area. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Actually, my dissertation was on identifying the best practices of minority and women business owners in government contracting. I do have some experience at the federal level in the government contracting, but the research was specific to the city of Houston, actually, but the results were applicable to anyone looking to do government contracting or small business. So I was able to identify 26 best practices to help small business owners overcome the challenges of government contracting and be successful in winning multiple awards. And that was through interviewing 15 successful MWBEs within the city of Houston.
Well, I know it took a lot of work to become Dr. Tanisha Lamel, but
You did.
congratulations on completing that. And I think that's the
Thank
beauty
you.
of our working relationship is that we have a very much a researcher-practitioner approach to the projects and the work that we do together. And so I want to go ahead and dig into this topic of how bids are won. You and I both have joint proposals that we've submitted over the last couple of weeks or maybe even a month now since we first got started. And these are both at the county as well as city level, agency levels. And so let's talk about 3 tips that our viewers can take up in order to be successful at their venture with bidding on contracts. So the first one we said was to meet or exceed the expectations of the RFP.
Absolutely. One of the things that kept coming up in the research was making sure that you were meeting every expectation of that proposal. If they expected you to have that proposal in at a certain time, make sure you have it in at that time. Make sure you dot all of your I's and cross all of your T's. You want to meet and exceed the expectations of the proposal because you are competing against other small business owners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do remember a statistic that was provided that says 53% of the bids that you would propose are likely to be awarded. And I think that's a pretty decent statistic that should encourage people to go after these RFPs for sure.
That's a very encouraging number. And when you look at the amount of money available through government contracting, we should absolutely be going after more contracts.
Agreed, agreed. The second tip we talked about was building a team. From my own perspective, when I read these RFPs and I think about the work that needs to be done, I immediately begin to feel overwhelmed without thinking about the other resources that are available to me. So that's why you and I have a partnership, and we've also reached out to other people to join us on these contractual agreements because they do encourage you to subcontract. That is part of the terms of agreement in most cases.
It's definitely part of it. And a lot of time when we think of building our team, we think of building our in-house team, hiring more employees, but that's not always necessarily the case with government contracts. Sometimes you need to partner with others through a joint venture or some type of venture partnership where you can pull together your resources as well as your expertise that in order to be able to meet the requirements of the contract. Building a team was very important and definitely very high on one of the items that you need to be very successful in order to win and maintain those contracts.
Yeah, and in this gig economy, you want different sources of revenue, and this being absolutely one of them that's perfect for the day and time that we're in right now. You know, you've got colleagues that you've worked with in the past, maybe at a different job or a different location. You've got colleagues that you meet at networking events, and when you create a team, you create synergy that definitely makes for a great proposal.
Definitely. And we all have our own strengths. And I believe play to your strengths and hire your weakness, or play to your strengths and partner with your weakness.
Yeah. Well, the third tip we discussed was paying attention to detail. My first contract that I wrote a proposal for, I had no idea all of the things that were going to be required in order for me to be able to meet the minimum criteria. And it's very easy to miss some of those details. So I think that would be a way they could rule you out, is if you don't pay attention to what those details are.
Absolutely. It's one of the ways small businesses get ruled out of government contracts on the first round, just by missing something very small as not having all of the proper documentation in place, not meeting, again, the deadlines, not turning in the right whatever it is, if it's bios for the people that are on your team or whatever that RFP is requesting, make sure you provide that. And again, it's always great to have a second set of eyes, somebody that can go back over the RFP, look at what the agency is requesting, and making sure that you have provided all of that information in sufficient detail.
Yeah, well, one of the services that I provide with the Table Salt Group is business development. And we get into this concept called the Business Quad Squad. And that Quad Squad 14 member is essential to making sure that those details are discovered, you know, because you want your attorney to be able to look over some of those more legalese terminologies that you run across. You want your accountant to be able to say, yes, those expenses can keep you in the red or keep you in the black, or whatever the case may be. You need to have that as a resource. And I'll just say to the listeners or to the viewers who are watching us, if you're interested in talking to either Tanisha or myself, or you want to have a joint meeting with us, we encourage you to please get in contact with us. Click on the link below. Tanisha is offering an e-course that I think will be very beneficial. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I have an e-course coming up to help small business owners turn their research into revenue. So if you have an area of expertise, maybe you've been in academia for a while, or a different area in the corporate arena, and you have some information that you want to turn it into revenue and use that to start or grow your small business. So definitely reach out to us. You can reach me at tanisha@thecleversite.com, or just visit my website and send a contact information there.
That sounds great. We'll have a link provided at the bottom of this video that you'll be able to reach either one of us as well. And I just want to say, as we close, Tanisha, I'm glad you got the memo to wear your yellow.
No, right?
This was not on purpose. That's just how she and I are.
Great minds think alike, La Rochelle. Great minds think alike.
And looking forward to our next conversation. I hope you'll join us. Bye.
Bye-bye.